Hey everyone. I'm making this very spur of the moment. I was in the middle of cooking dinner for my wife, and she came in and she could tell that I was antsy and asked me what I needed. And I told her that I had to go and film this now, and that it was really on my mind. So I'm very blessed and lucky to have her to just give me a solid kick in the pants and tell me to go do what I need. But I've had something rattling around in my head recently, well, for the last hour or so, that I know my younger self should have heard. And I'm lucky that I heard it today. I don't know where this quote is from, but I heard someone say, most men die at 25, but they aren't buried until they're 70. And that just really resonated with me. I think we live in a culture that is so utilitarian. Everything has to serve a purpose. You go to school to learn this so that you can be that. And we've just lost it. We've lost the need to be human. When we introduce ourselves to people, you walk up, oh, hello, I'm John Paul. I do insurance. This is who I am. I am my job. And your value is determined by how many zeros are in your bank account, And I had a family member the other day ask me about my Substack, which, I've been doing for like 2 months at the time. And I was so excited. I was like, finally, someone who actually gives a crap in my family, someone who wants to ask me about what I'm doing, someone who's excited for me. And I started telling them all, hey, I'm connecting with great people. People are willingly reading what I'm writing. I was flabbergasted. I've been blown away by how receptive people are to what I'm sharing and what I'm doing. And then came the question, how much money do you make off of Substack? Oh yeah, I'd forgotten. That was the most important part about all of this. And I had to tell them, I make nothing off of it. Yeah, it's worthless. It's totally worthless. It makes me no money. It makes me no income. And not interested. Left the literally just left. Walked away. Not interested anymore. I was shocked because at first I thought that they actually cared about, me, my passions, what I was excited about, but it wasn't. And that is our society today. No one gives a shit unless you're making money off of it, or unless it is giving you some sort of physical life improvement. It just is worthless. And it's intoxicated the whole society. My wife and I did a few months ago, we did a detox where we stopped eating all sugars, all carbs, and we basically just ate like red meat and vegetables. And it was great. But the funny thing was, the first 4 days, absolute hell. The reason is because, I was blessed with a mother who taught me to eat well and to eat full meals, but still, even with how well I ate compared to the, average American diet, I had so much inflammation in me from eating bad food and sugar and carbs that I felt like shit for days because my body was getting rid of the toxins. And until I started consuming just good food, the toxins wouldn't leave my body. And it's funny because I will point this out to people. I will say our culture is utilitarian. Nobody cares unless you're making money off of this. Everyone's like, oh, I understand. That's so horrible. Thank you for your message. That's so wonderful. But they don't actually listen because they're so inflamed and intoxicated by society that they don't realize that they actually have not internalized being a human. They're still just this was my life for every single day for months. I have to be at my job at 8:30. I'm up at 7:45, hitting the snooze button 5 times after it goes off at 7, because just, 15 more minutes, just 5 more minutes in bed. Get up, throw on my clothes, grab something I can eat out of the fridge, like grab that bagel, I'll eat it, and run to the office, get there in time, sit down and start clacking away at the keyboard. And then you get home and it's like, now I gotta relax. Time for me to relax and veg out, scroll on my phone for hours and play video games and watch movies. And we're so intoxicated. We're going from utilitarian to, I just got to satiate my desires. And these are the two extremes that our society operates on. We have, I'm being so efficient over here. And then on the other end, we have just time to relax, time to satiate all my desires, look at porn and masturbate and all of this shit that we don't need. And we're so intoxicated by it that we don't even realize how horrible it is to us and how it's destroying our souls. And it's so sad, because I tell this to people and I tell this to my friends and to young men. And I have friends who are literally like, hello, I have now started to participate in the most efficient way to go through my existence. I would like to impart this knowledge to you. And it's like, are you human? No, you're just a robot now. You're just like, men want to get out of this. Men want to get out of this society where we're just work, detox, relax by like intoxicating ourselves, and then go back to work and intoxication work. And we want to get out of this. And so we're retreating. We're trying to find ways out. And what I started doing was, it was like time to read self-help books. This will save me. Oh my gosh. I need to be more disciplined because I'm a lazy asshole. Oh, that's so true. And it is true. But the danger is that we run away into this world where we think, I am now so efficient that I'm better than everyone else. That's not human. You haven't escaped. You've just built yourself a different cage. And I'll go to these people and I'll say, I've read this great book. You should read this book. What wisdom will I impart from this piece of literature? And they won't do anything unless there's an actual physical, like quantifiable benefit. And that's just not how life works. That's just actually not how human beings and our souls are cultivated. That's just not what it means to be a human. And so you can run away and try to do that, but I've come to this realization, and I've decided I'm never, ever, ever going to read a self-help book ever again. I'm just not going to do it. It rots and corrupts your soul just as much as like TikTok reels and OnlyFans do, but in a different way. You are building yourself a cage by doing that. You're what happened to a life where we had simple pleasures? And that does not mean sitting down and binging Game of Thrones. I mean wood carving, bird watching, and for heaven's sakes, reading and writing. Good heavens. What happened to those? Where did those go? It's so scary. I have these same robot friends. I'll ask them, hey, did you read that book? Did you finish that book you started? No. Know why? Because they looked up an AI summary of the book, because I must impart this as efficiently as possible. Sometimes I feel like just kind of giving up. It's like, what? I don't even know how to break through to some of those people, and just, oh my gosh, it's so sad. It's heartbreaking. I don't even know. It's, to me, reading, writing, it's a sanctuary. It's somewhere I can retreat to. I can be quiet. I can be by myself. I can cultivate my soul. I can grow as a human, and maybe not in ways that today I will be able to see exactly how I have achieved a better stat in life. I actually can detox my soul. I can relax, and reading is scary like that. That's why I feel like so many people who are like that, who are trying to be as efficient as possible, are terrified of reading because you need it to be quiet. I actually had a friend once who said that whenever no one was around, they had to turn on music because otherwise they were scared. They were scared when it was quiet. And that's because you have to be alone. You need to be by yourself. That's part of what's so terrifying about reading is you need to be quiet, alone, focused, and you need to be aware of what the author is saying and doing. And part of that is being aware of how you feel about that. And that's scary. That is very scary. But I just want to say, this is something that I wish I'd known. I wish I could look myself in the eye when I was younger and say that don't die at 25. Don't do it. Because when you die, right, every opportunity and all your passions and all of those things that you could have been and you could have done, the success that you could have had, not as a businessman or building my legacy, but the things that matter to you in your heart, the things that you're passionate about. If you sell those for efficiency or for satiating your desires, you won't regret it for the rest of your life. You'll be so high on just, either your own self-righteousness or, maybe just stumbling through life that you're not going to you won't suffer until you die. And when you die and those things confront you and they look you in the eyes and they ask you why? Why didn't you dig into your soul and try to find this potential, this greatness that you have, this dream? Why didn't you cultivate that into a garden and a place where you could be a better person and live a better life? Why didn't you do that? And you might not regret it today. You might not regret it tomorrow, but you will regret it when you die. And I wish I had known that when I was younger. I'm blessed that I know it now. So please, stop scrolling, stop, fapping, just whatever it is. If you know you need to drop it, maybe try to go dig up something you're passionate about. Like Jesse Pinkman and wood carving. Go make a box. I love you all, and that's why I wanted to say this. I really do hope for the best for all of you, and yeah, don't go hollow. Okay, don't let the world hollow out your soul.